Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate 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 Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna. So today we'll be reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 17th chapter, The Punishment and Reward of Kali, verses 35 and 36. So we'll read from the 35th verse. Sutta Uvacha
Sutta Uvacha
Parikshitaiva Madishta
Parikshitaiva Madishta
Sakalir Jata Vepathu
Sakalir Jata Vepathu
Tam Udyatasim Ahedam
Tam Udyatasim Ahedam
Dandapanim Mivodyatam
Dandapanim Nivodyatam
Sutta Uvacha
Sutta Uvacha
Parikshitaiva Madishta
Parikshitaiva Madishta
Sakalir Jata Vepathu
Sakalir Jata Vepathu
Tam Udyatasim Ahedam
Tam Udyatasim Ahedam
Dandapanim Mivodyatam
Dandapanim Nivodyatam
Sutta Uvacha
Sutta Uvacha
Parikshitaiva Madishta
Parikshitaiva Madishta
Sakalir Jata Vepathu
Sakalir Jata Vepathu
Tam Udyatasim Ahedam
Tam Udyatasim Ahedam
Dandapanim Mivodyatam
Dandapanim Nivodyatam
Sutta Uvacha
Parikshitaiva Madishta
Parikshitaiva Madishta
Sakalir Jata Vepathu
Sakalir Jata Vepathu
Tam Udyatasim Ahedam
Tam Udyatasim Ahedam
Dandapanim Nivodyatam
Dandapanim Mivodyatam. Synonyms. Sutta Uvacha.
Sutta Uvacha
Sri Sutta Goswami said.
Sri Sutta Goswami said
Parikshita
Parikshita
by Maharaj Parikshit.
by Maharaj Parikshit
Evam
Evam
thus. Adishtaha
Adishta
being ordered.
being ordered
Saha
Saha
he.
He
Kalihi
Kali
the personality of Kali.
the personality of Kali
Jata
Jata
there was.
there was
Vepatuhu
Vepatuhu
trembling.
trembling
Tam
Tam
him.
him
Udyata
Udyata
raised.
raised
Asim
Asim
sword.
sword
Aha
Aha
said. Idam
Idam
thus. Dandapanim
Dandapanim
Yamaraj
Yamaraj
the personality of death.
the personality of death
Iva
Iva
like.
Udyatam
Almost ready.
almost ready
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Sri Sutta Goswami said, the personality of Kali, thus being ordered by Maharaj Parikshit, began to tremble in fear. Seeing the king before him like Yamaraj, ready to kill him, Kali spoke to the king as follows. Purport. The king was ready to kill the personality of Kali at once, as soon as he disobeyed his order. Otherwise, the king had no objection to allowing him to prolong his life. The personality of Kali also, after attempting to get rid of the punishment in various ways, decided that he must surrender unto him, and thus he began to tremble in fear of his life. The king, or the executive head, must be so strong as to stand before the personality of Kali like the personality of death, Yamaraj. The king's order must be obeyed, otherwise the culprit's life is in risk. That is the way to rule the personalities of Kali, who create disturbance in the normal life of the state citizens. We'll also read the next verse. For this one, should I also do 3 times or just once? Kaliruvacha yatra kvavata vatsami sarvabhauma tavajnaya
Bhagavanyaya
Lakshaye tatra tatrapi
Lakshye Tatra Tatrapi
Tvamateshu Sarasanam.
Mamateshu Sahasranam.
Should I do this in?
No.
Okay. Translation and purport. By Srimad Bhagavatam Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Sure.
O your majesty, although I may live anywhere and everywhere under your order, I shall but see you with bow and arrows wherever I look. Purport. The personality of Kali could see that Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor of all lands all over the world, and thus anywhere he might live, he would have to meet with the same mood of those king. The personality of Kali was meant for mischief, and Maharaj Parikshit was meant for subduing all kinds of mischief mongers, especially the king personality of Kali. It was better, therefore, for the personality of Kali to have been killed by the king then and there instead of being killed elsewhere. He was, after all, a surrendered soul before the king, and it was for the king to do what was required. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam tam sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saharita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak. Please pray for me so that the right words come at the right times and I don't make any offenses or make any, so that I don't make any offenses or mistakes while speaking about this. And please, at the end, I'll leave it to you guys. Please give me any corrections and please add on because I might not be able to speak at full detail about these verses because all of the verses of the Bhagavatam, they're extremely, they go into so much depth and they can be useful for our practical life. So please, yeah, okay. So in this chapter, as we know, the context of this chapter is mainly about Parikshit Maharaj, and now he's touring his kingdom, and he's ensuring the welfare, as any king does. He wants to make sure that dharma is upheld. That's the duty of a king, to make sure dharma is upheld in his kingdom, and also the welfare of his subjects. So now, as we know, in the previous verses, we've seen that he encounters the bull of dharma with one leg standing. The bull has four legs, but due to the influence of Kali Yuga, now it's the last leg, truthfulness. And now we see a Shudra, Kali, who is mercilessly beating the bull and is trying to kill them. So immediately Parikshit Maharaj, who is a true Kshatriya, his duty as a king is to protect the innocent and to annihilate the miscreants or anybody who is threatening the principles of religion. That's Kshatriya Dharma. So now what we're seeing, even in the Bhagavad Gita just explained that heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, leadership, these are all the qualities of a Kshatriya. So now we see in Parikshit all of these qualities. So he is the exemplary Kshatriya. Even in the Manusmriti, there are multiple examples. The Manusmriti 7th chapter explains the duty of a Rajan. And in the 3rd verse, there's the verse saying that Arajake hi lokismin sarvato vidruto bhayat raksharthamasya sarvasya rajana masrijit prabhu. So the Lord created the position of a king for the people who were perturbed by fear because of irreligion and all these other these bad omens and everything. For all the people who were troubled and unsettled by irreligion and without control, the Lord created the position of a king. He created the king in order to protect all the citizens. So it is extremely important for this position of a king to be somebody who is not wicked, somebody who has true authority, as Vishal Prabhu was saying last week and when we were discussing a few verses before. A king or anybody in a position of responsibility, they must first be able to, of course, deliver all the people that are under them. And without these qualities, without somebody who can protect others, it is impossible for one to be a king. So the king's role is to protect dharma, to punish the wicked, and also to protect the citizens. So now we see Parikshit Maharaj who is about to kill Kali. But now Kali is fearful because he knows that the king can kill him whenever he wants. So now he surrenders, falling at the king's feet. So now in this verse, in the 35th verse, we see Suta Uvacha Parikshitaivam Adishtaha. So this is exactly, it's a very important part of this verse. First, we have Suta Uvacha, which goes back to the explanation of how Srimad Bhagavatam is always set. It is through the correct disciplic succession. That is extremely important. Even in so many different times, we see multiple people just giving random speculations on the Shastras, but it's extremely important. Even in the first canto, first chapter, 2nd verse, it's explained, Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmat saranam satam vedyam vasamatra vastu shivadam tapa trayon mulanam. We should reject all the material or religious activities even that are materially motivated. And that Bhagavatam is sufficient itself for God realization. I think 2 days ago when we were listening to the lecture by S.V. Keshavaswami Maharaj, he was explaining about the Vedanta Sutras. And the 3rd sutra is Iti Shastras Yonitvat, that one can understand the Supreme Lord just through understanding the Shastras. But it is extremely important that how do we understand the Shastras? We have to go through the disciplic succession. Without the disciplic succession, and if we just go based off our own concoctions, our own speculations, there is no way that we can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And why is it that we should go through the Shastras? Well, or even the Bhagavatam itself, in SP 12.13.18, it is explained, Srimad Bhagavatam Purana Mamalam, that it is the spotless Purana. The Bhagavatam has everything that we need. It has all the questions to all the it has all the answers to all the questions that may arise whenever. It reveals the means how one can become free from all material work, material sense gratification, everything. So if we try to hear and chant the Srimad Bhagavatam with love and devotion, one will become liberated. This is given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the evidence, the proof. So now if we look at the first line of this verse, Parikshitaivam Adishtaha. So why is this important? Well, it's not that Kali is speaking of his own initiative. He's not saying that, okay, I recognize my mistake. I should probably surrender unto the lotus feet of Maharaj Parikshit. No, he is responding because of the threat. And the threat is Parikshit Maharaj is going to kill him. So we know that first of all, Parikshit Maharaj is fully in control. But second, the other point is that Kali, because he's a miscreant, he doesn't realize his mistake. he knows that he has made a mistake, but he doesn't make any effort to rectify the mistake or any realization on his part. That even though he is beating the dharma, he is performing such miscreant activities, abominable activities, he does not want to accept that he is making a mistake, and he doesn't want to surrender and ask for forgiveness or ask, please help me so that I can rectify my mistake or something like that. That is what one who is truly pursuing dharma or somebody who has made a mistake should be. It's like in the NOI, there's the explanation of how an elephant goes into the river to take a bath, but then as soon as the elephant comes after the bath, he just rolls in the mud once again. What is the point of such prayashchitta or atonement? Similarly, Kali, he's atoning, but then in the future verses, as we'll see, he's just asking, where can I perform my abominable activities? He's looking for a leeway. It's not that, oh, I'll give up all abominable activities, please forgive me, don't kill me. No, where can I do my abominable activities? That is the lowest of low. So this is the age of quarrel, this is the age of Kali that we are in. And most people, they want to find the way how they can do more and more abominable activities. But what we should do is, of course, by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll understand how or what we need to do. And that is to pivot from all these abominable activities, give up material sense gratification, and understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So now coming back to the Shastras, or from this verse, this explains that how he said, Parikshit Maharaj, he's fully in control. He's not giving in to what Kali is saying. So in the Mahabharata, it explains how the king is the pivot of society where dharma, artha, kama. So if he were to give up control of this and were to listen to Kali because of material sense gratification or material desires, just like we see in the present day, all the rulers are just giving in to their sense gratifications. Even rulers don't even just mean the kings, but even like of the companies, etc. We see how nobody has any way to control their senses. So it is extremely important for somebody who is in a position of responsibility to be able to control themselves first, as we know, the saying goes, first help yourself, then you can help others. If you can't even help yourself, how can you expect to help others? Because you yourself haven't gone past that first initial level. How would you be able to help others also come to that? So now we see that Kali, he's trembling in fear. This isn't because he realizes mistake. It's again because of the threat Parikshit Maharaj is giving. So he knows he deserves punishment, but he doesn't want to receive that punishment. So even if we see in jail, if people are in jail, they don't try to rectify their mistake. They're just looking, how can I, even this jail cell, how can I enjoy my time in jail? Or how can I make it easier? Bribe the guard, hey, can you give me like this soft pillow or something like that? No, that's not the point, right? We need to rectify our mistakes. And these are the demoniac qualities we see in Kali, or even in myself, for example. I have all these abominable qualities, and we perform such because of the influence of Kali and the influence of the material modes of nature, all of these pride, arrogance. In the 16th chapter, 4th verse is explained, Dambo darphobi manascha krodha parishamevacha. The demoniac qualities are explained here, and that Kali in this verse is embodying all of these qualities of pride, arrogance. He doesn't want to accept anything. That's arrogant. He's very prideful, that he feels that maybe I am doing the right thing. He knows he's doing the wrong thing, but that's in others' perspective. But in my perspective, everything is correct. But that is not the truth. Just because I feel that something is right doesn't mean it is right. We need to go based off of dharma. So now we see that danda pani nuvodyatam, that the last line of this verse, it explains how this king is like Yamaraj standing in front of him with the punishment, the sword of punishment. So that is the king has to always be very strong. He has to stand strong. Without being standing strong, Parikshit Maharaj is like Yamaraj. Yamaraj doesn't, nobody can escape death, right? Even in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is explained, Kalosmi lokakshayakrit pravidho lokan samahartam mima iha pravrittaha. Krishna says, time I am, the great destroyer of the entire universe. Nobody can escape the influence of time. Nobody can escape the influence of death. Nobody, that's the rule of the entire world. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani. What is it? In 2.30. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehi sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani tvam shochitam arhasi. So he who dwells in the body cannot be slain. But this body, because of the law of material nature, will be slain. So we need to first understand that we are not this body. After we understand that we are not this body, then we can understand that all these sense gratification, all these activities, they're not helping us. They're not even affecting us because we are not this body. These sense gratification activities are just for our body. But then now you might be like, oh man, now I don't want to realize that I'm not this body because then I can't perform all these activities. I won't be able to enjoy it because I'll be like, yeah, it's not going to really let me live my peace. That one might think, but no, it even if you want to accept that, or even if you don't want to accept it, it's not that you can't accept it. It's like saying that if you're in school and you don't want to accept some rule or some theorem or something like that, it's not that it doesn't apply, it is going to apply. It's just that you aren't willing to accept it. But that's a stupidity. You're just going to fail. So what is the test here? Test is our life. And no matter whatever we perform in this life is going to be checked and everything. It's all tabulated. Samani vrikshe purusho nimagno nishaya shochati mukhyamanaha. It's the body, or this entire, we're like a tree. Our material body is like the tree, and then there's two birds, this individual soul and the super soul. The super soul is just sitting there, and then as the tree keeps on going through time, there are fruits that come on the tree. Some of them are sweet, some of them are yucky, some of them are spoiled and everything. Those are the consequences of our material activities. And now the soul, he has the option to eat those fruits, whether they're sweet, then we get some sukham. Or if we eat something that is rotten, oh, this is bad, dukkham. Even this is how in 2.14 Krishna says, Matra sparsha sukhanteya shitoshna sukha dukkadaha agama payano nitya stamsi dikshasva bharata. Just like the seasons come and go, similarly, we'll experience happiness, distress, heat, cold. All these dualities are there in the material world. So it is up to us to provide the right answer. We know the right answer. Now we know the right answer because we've been reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. We don't have any excuse. We have learned the rule that we are not this body, we are the soul. So it's up to us to accept it or not to accept it. But now that we know it, we have no excuse to give the wrong answer. That is the importance, or that's how what we can understand from reading all these verses of the Bhagavatam especially. So now when we go to the next verse, Kalirvacha yatraka vata vatsyami sarvabhauma tavagnyaya. So now he's accepting that, oh, actually, you're no matter where I go, because you're the ruler of the entire world. No matter what, we know now that I know that you're going to punish me, I know that you're a good king. So he knows he's wrong. He's accepting that he's wrong, but he doesn't want to rectify it again. So now what we see is that this is the ideal kingship. He is always very practical. He is very absolute in maintaining dharma, no matter where it is. So he knows that even if he's on the farthest side of the entire world from Parikshit Maharaj, he will still know what is happening because he is making an effort to make sure that dharma is being upheld. And he, Kali, knows that he is adharma. So, of course, he will be afraid. It's like the criminals. If they've performed something bad, they will automatically be afraid, when will I be caught? Similarly, Kali, he knows he's doing something wrong. He doesn't want to fix it. So therefore, he is even more afraid that no matter what, you will be there with bow and arrow, ready to kill me. So in the next verse, it's alluding to the next verse where he's going to ask, please give me some leeway. Where can I go so I can perform abominable activities? And we'll read that in the coming days. So now this is the physical presence is one thing of Parikshit Maharaj, but his authority is not just limited to the physical distance. That is just like the omnipresent dharma. Dharma is not just in one place where the king is. Like one can say, I'm taking a test, but I want to cheat. So let me cheat. The teacher's not looking at me, so I'm not cheating because I won't get caught. That is not how it works. And then you might get caught by AI detector, or there is actually this one camera right behind you or something like that. So all these can happen, right? So dharma is omnipresent. No matter where you are, wherever you go, dharma is there. The authority of dharma is always going to be there. So because of that, Kali can never act. Kali can never be truly free or operate however he likes. His freedom will be constrained because of Maharaj Parikshit's authority and his omnipresent justice. So even in the fourth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it explains how karma is inescapable, but people still want a way to escape karma, this entire cycle. Because why? If I do this bad activity, I might get this much enjoyment. If I go to the casino, I have this much expected marginal utility. I could win $1 billion, but I could also lose $50 billion in the same time frame. So that is also like some sort of karma. That's a material level, of course, but karma is in any case inescapable. So even if Kali is right now, he's spared, but if he performs another miscreant, abominable activity, he knows that Parikshit Maharaj will be on his case and go after him and kill him. So now he needs his protection. So that's why he's surrendering onto him, because he knows that even though a Kshatriya is very strong, he knows that if somebody surrenders onto a Kshatriya, the Kshatriya is very also generous and merciful. So why now the question might be, why doesn't Parikshit just kill Kali? Because we know that in the purport it is explained, it was better therefore for the personality of Kali to be killed, have been killed by the king then and there instead of being killed elsewhere. So why, one might ask, is that why didn't he kill Kali? For example, but one who is upholding dharma as a king, there's also the dharma of sharanagati. It is also very important. A true kshatriya would understand that even an enemy, if surrendered, should not be killed. It is explained in the rule of Chanakya Niti and all the rule of war and everything. If one should not kill an opponent whose back is faced to them. If somebody's running away, you should not shoot your arrow or kill them, chop off their head. No, you should not. Even in Ramayana, I think I forget when, but we were talking about Vibhishana and his Sharanagati onto Ram. And a lot of the monkeys, they were very apprehensive. They weren't very accepting of this. But then Hanuman, he explains that his house was the only place where I heard the name Ram, 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 Ram. And there's pictures of Ram everywhere. Even when Ravana went and saw, why do you have my enemy's name? He was like, oh, no. I took your first letter and Mandodari's first letter, brought it together, Ram, Ram, Ram. And that's how he's able to disguise his devotion for the Lord. Even though he, because of his beauty as the younger brother of Ravana, he was always absorbed in the enemy in this case. But no, he is absorbed in thinking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's completely surrendered. Similarly, now Kali, even though he's not truly surrendering onto Maharaj Parikshit, why isn't he truly surrendering? Because if he was truly surrendering, then he would have understood, wait, I'm doing something wrong. I need to rectify my mistake. But another principle why he didn't kill Kali, he can't kill Kali because Kali Yuga is predetermined. This is the Kali Yuga. Parikshit Maharaj, as a devotee, understands that he can contain it by his own actions, but he can't eliminate its existence completely. It has a purpose. Kali Yuga's purpose, there's multiple good things, there are multiple bad things about Kali, but there's also one good thing about Kali, right? How Kalir Doshan in De Rajan, Asti Hyeko Mahan Gunaha, Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Muktasanga Param Brajet. That even though Kali is a complete ocean of faults, there's so many bad things about Kali, there's one good quality. What is that good quality? Hare Nam eva kevalam kalo nasteva gatiranyatha. It makes it so easy for everybody. There's only one thing we can do to become freed from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. That is Harinam. Harinam Sankirtan, chanting the holy name of the Lord. And even in the Bhagavad Gita, the 10.9 is explained, Machita Matita Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam. All the devotees of the Lord, they're always engaged in chanting and hearing the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only in this way are we able to become free from the bondage of this material world. Even in the Bhagavatam, it is explained that the Supreme Lord, for those who completely surrender unto the Supreme Lord, he himself will go and purify them in such a way that they will become free from material sense gratification, their material desires. And even in 9.22 Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana paripasate tesham nityabhyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Whatever his devotee lacks, he will provide it to them, and whatever they have, he will preserve it. So all we need to do is show to Krishna that we have some desire, we have the true desire to surrender unto him. We want to understand him. Only then Krishna will be like, yes, I want you, because he wants all of us to be there in the spiritual world with him, absorbed in the spiritual transcendental pastimes of the Lord, so that we can serve him. Our constitutional position as a spirit soul is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, of course, the Lord, who is missing all of us here, because we're here in the material world, he wants us to go back and reside with him in the spiritual world. So, of course, it's just like the saying, one step that we make towards God, God will take 1,000, 1,000,000 steps towards us. So there's a yoga ladder system, and I like making this example a lot of how if we're trying to climb up the Empire State Building, we can, there's two ways we can go. We can go up the stairs, each and every floor, or we can take one swoop through the elevator and we can go to the top. So similarly, if we just try to go through the yoga processes of first going to karma yoga, then nishkama karma yoga, then jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, dhyana yoga, etc., etc., etc. It's a painstaking effort, many lives. And we see in the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter especially, it explains how Krishna is explaining about dhyana yoga, ashtanga yoga systems. And he says that one can definitely attain me through all of these, but it's extremely difficult, multiple years. And then he explains how the unsuccessful yogi, after many years of enjoyment, even in the heavenly planets, they come back into this material world with a better lifetime. And all of these. So it is explained that even the demigods, they wanted, even though they were in the heavenly planets, enjoying everything, the demigods, they were praying for an opportunity to come back to this material world. Why? Because the human body in this material world makes it so much easier for us to understand Krishna. We are given the exact way to understand Krishna if we follow in the footsteps of the Vaishnavas, if we serve the devotees of the Lord. And it is extremely imperative for us to utilize our human life in order to cross the ocean of material existence. It's just the analogy that the human body is a boat. We're trying to paddle across this ocean of material existence to attain or understand Krishna. But if we don't even know the direction to paddle in, or if we don't even have the paddle itself, how can we even go there? We might say stochastic probability that, oh, by chance we can just, the wind will just blow us in that. But no, there is none of that. The effort or the wind will only help us if we put that first initial effort. And it'll give us a sail, and then the wind will carry us in the right direction, and then we can paddle. That's only given if we are able to understand there's something beyond this material creation. We are not the body, we are the soul. And our constitutional position is to serve Krishna. So then we must serve him. We must try to understand him through his word, his activities, and by reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, by hearing Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam, all these ways we are given to understand the Lord. And if not all of this, the sure, fast way to attain Krishna or to understand Krishna is given Harinam, 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 Eva Kevalam. All we need to do is just chant this holy name of the Lord, and there is nothing we need to fear. So coming, I kind of digress a little bit, but coming back here, we're explaining present Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is present. Kali is present in every single thing. It's very powerful, ever seeking opportunities to corrupt our mind or to expand his influence. So just like how Parikshit Maharaj, he's able to conquer Kali, he's able to control Kali. This is an example for us. Within ourselves, we have to rule our senses. Just in this example I just gave of the boat, if we are not in control of the boat, then there is no way for the boat to go in the direction we want it to go. So first, we have to control our boat. What is our boat? The human form of life. If we are not in control of our senses, if we're not in control of our mind, all of these, throughout the Bhagavad Gita, there's so many verses that the mind is the friend of the enemy, but also the worst enemy. Only when we're in control of the mind, then the mind will help us engage in bhakti yoga, in devotional service, so that we can progress further in our spiritual path. Otherwise, you won't be able to understand anything. You will just digress from the true ultimate aim and just keep on slogging in this material world for sense gratification and sense gratification. So we must first cultivate our inner Parikshit Maharaj to combat Kali within ourselves. And there are multiple examples in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Just explained that the devotee of the Lord doesn't want to take anything, or he doesn't want anything. He has no material desires. He doesn't even want anything for maintenance. Wherever you put me, O Lord, I will just, all I'm doing is thinking about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So no matter what, he is just conducting himself in such a way that he's a servant of the Lord, and he does everything for the Lord's satisfaction. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. That verse. So I kind of digressed a little bit, and we're a little over time. So the main thing is that what we have to understand from these verses is that it is extremely important for us to control our inner sense urges, just how Parikshit Maharaj, by his influence, he's able to control Kali, and now Kali is surrendered unto him. Similarly, we need to also control our mind and senses and make sure that we don't give in to our sense gratification or sense desires. In this way, we will be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead a little more. Sorry for any mistakes. Please forgive me if I said anything wrong or anything that was offensive, and please correct me. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I might not be somebody who's very good at answering questions, but if there's anything or any reflections.
Reflect back something. Guru Maharaj says it's good to reflect back. That's why Devata Prabhu always gives a reflection. So I would like to say something from what takeaways from class. You're talking about how people are finding ways or loopholes in the rule book to gratify their senses and still say it's within the jurisdiction of the rules. So that, yeah, we do that. People try to go through the loopholes in the tax codes to save some money in taxes.
Yeah.
And there are many ways people try to gratify their senses, but they fail to realize that they're missing the main point. The main point is not to gratify your senses and then show that you're still following the rules. It's to purify yourself for the greater good. I like that. And for the second verse, you were talking about the stochastic process. There's somebody who was telling Prabhupada that you can go to the spiritual world using any of the paths. And Prabhupada is a chemist. He knows what medicines are. So he tells him that if you come to a medicine store, do you ask the pharmacist for any medicine and just take it and you'll be cured? Or do you ask for a very specific, you give him a prescription and tell him, I want exactly this medicine and take the exact dosage.
Yeah.
Which one do you follow? So Prabhupada was trying to say it's not a stochastic process like you were saying. There's a very specific process that's given by authority. In that analogy, it's a doctor who writes the dosage, number of rounds to chant, regular principles to follow.
Yeah.
And the pharmacist gives you maybe the beads from the store or the bead bag and everything you need. But it's up to your discipline whether you follow it or not.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
One more thing I want to share was you say about rule yourself. So I remember Under Armour had a campaign called Rule Yourself, where Michael Phelps was the main brand ambassador.
Yeah.
And the whole point of that campaign was Michael Phelps training for the Olympics. And there was a saying that came up at the very end of the advertisement that said, "What you do in the dark puts you in the light." And for us, that's pretty much true. We start our day when it's at the break of dawn, when it's dark. And what we do there is what puts us in the light in Krishna consciousness. So rule yourself comes across in that sense as well. If we rule ourselves with discipline, we become a good disciple for our spiritual master. And as a result, we end up making a lot of spiritual progress.
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, those are very, very good practical examples. Yeah. Thank you. And devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa